Brainy Podcasts. Last thoughts.
The first thing I wrote down was storytelling.
Maybe it was because he told it all through making wine as well, which was a lovely way of doing it.
Yeah, nice lever.
Yeah, that was very nice. Yeah, really, really nice. And the other thing that stuck in my mind was this whole thing about how we see patterns and the whole adoption and adaptation that we're always adopting and adapting things.
Yeah, they were my two favourite words, actually.
Yeah.
Adopt and adapt. And that came from accepting that there's no such thing as a brand new idea, that it's all evolution of somebody else, even if you're drawing it from somewhere else. I remember going to see Mark Fox. He was the youngest chief engineer at NASA.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, when you're trying to solve problems with a rocket, you haven't got too many places to go for ideas. So they had to draw from other industries and other products to find solutions. Yeah. And I think was it Apollo 13? That one crashed. They had to look at why, what happened, how can they make sure it doesn't happen again? Yeah. And they got their answers from, I think it was Ford, but it was certainly from cars.
Yeah.
From the automotive industry, because they had to draw on stuff that was out there already that they could find the relevance from. And that's kind of what we were talking about today.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, exactly what we were talking about. And I think there was something else there as well about, and I don't know whether we captured this, it might have been after we'd stopped recording, was that whole thing of moving outside your comfort zone, about Carl doing the dance lessons, to something where you feel embarrassed because people are going to look at you and perhaps question you, and yet actually you're only just being difficult to yourself.
Yeah, I grabbed that in the end, that there is a sense of bravery when we put ourselves out there and doing something new. Yeah. I know we're going to look at that in episode 5, looking at what stifles and stops creativity.
Yeah.
But I wonder how many things we're capable of that we don't even try because we're scared of failing.
Yeah.
And those of us, the brave, go forward, I guess.
That's quite interesting in itself. And what is failure? Because we know from all the research and the work that you and I do that actually there's no such thing as failure. It's only learning.
Mm.
So that's such an important thing in life, isn't it? It's all about growth. It's not about blame and failure. It's about, okay, that didn't work out so well. So what do I learn from that?
Yeah. And those of us that have become more disciplined with reflection will probably learn more than those that beat themselves up about it, because of course it's how we react to things that haven't gone so well, or perhaps we pictured it going differently in our mind before we got going with it. How we pick ourselves up and dust ourselves down and get on and move forward from something is, I guess, that takes us into the world of resilience.
It's funny, you've just sparked my memory then about my professor that I did my master's with, Paul Brown. He's a wonderful man. He always reminds us that the brain, that we can't make mistakes because the brain doesn't know what it doesn't know, which when you think about it, is not letting you off the hook. It's actually just saying you have to grow from it and learn from it. You're adapting and adopting and growing and learning, then you're not making mistakes, you're developing.
I love that phrase. The brain doesn't know what it doesn't know.
Yeah.
I love that. So simple, but it just kind of makes so much sense.
Yeah.
And we also talked about that patterns and about space for everybody to have a voice. Yeah. Interesting how that comes up, particularly in a commercial environment.
Yeah.
It comes up in quite a lot of, no matter what topic we're looking at, time to think and space for voice seems to be a very common thread.
Yeah. And just to build on that, what I thought was interesting, we all questioned the role of leadership and how it needs to change. And that actually creativity, the word creative, whether that's a stumbling block in itself, almost like the word change. People hear the word change and it just fires off all different fear things in the brain. But actually, it's about how we express ourselves as creativity.
Yeah. And I guess also it's thinking about creativity isn't something that's indulgent in the workplace. It's lifeblood.
Yeah. And you kept putting us back to innovation, actually, which was really interesting.
The amount of times you go into an organization, they go, well, we've always done it that way.
Yeah.
Why? Sorry, am I the first one to ask that question?
Was it Aristotle who said, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got?
Something like that.
Yeah.
And this is what we do.
You're
We
right.
question ourselves and we
Yeah.
second guess ourselves all the
Yeah.
time. And
Which is
actually, the sentiment and the meaning and the message is the most important thing.
So that's why we're all creative.
Brainy Podcasts, Season 2, coming soon.